Om Namah Shivaya Shankar Mahadeva Om Namah Shivaya Shankar Mahadeva Om Namah Shivaya Shankar Mahadeva Bhola Baba.
Namaste, Sitaram, a pleasant good morning. Welcome to Rudraaya. I'm your host, Nisha Sharma. And Rudraaya is being brought to you with the kind compliments of Maharudradev Mandir. And of course, the Mandir is located at 850 Tapscott Road, Unit 34 in Scarborough, with Tapscott and McNichol being our closest intersection. So I hope you are enjoying this wonderful Saturday morning. I know that we are in the fall season. However, take a long drive and, see the leaves on the trees, the beautiful colors, and enjoy what you are blessed with. Without further ado, we'll get straight into our pravachan with our spiritual leader, Pandit Ravi Sharma.
तुम हमारे ते प्रभु जी, तुम हमारे हो, तुम हमारे हो रहोगे ओ मेरे प्रियतम। तुम हमारे ते प्रभु जी, तुम हमारे हो, तुम हमारे हो रहोगे ओ मेरे प्रियतम। तुम्हें चोर सुन नंद दुलारे, कोई न मीत हमारो। किसके दुआरे जाए पुकारो, और न कोई सहारो। अब तो आके वह पकड़ लो ओ मेरे प्रियतम। तुम हमारे ते प्रभु जी, तुम हमारे हो, तुम हमारे हो रहेंगे ओ मेरे प्रियतम। तेरे कारण सब जग चोरा, तुम संग नाता जोरा प्यारे। एक बार प्रभु बस ते कह दो, तू मेरा ये मेरा प्यारे। साची प्रीत की रेत दिखा दो ओ मेरे प्रियतम। तुम हमारे ते प्रभु जी, हम तुम्हारे हो, तुम हमारे हो रहोगे ओ मेरे प्रियतम। तुम हमारे ते प्रभु जी, तुम हमारे हो, तुम हमारे हो रहोगे ओ मेरे प्रियतम, ओ मेरे प्रियतम, ओ मेरे प्रियतम।
प्रेम से बोले श्री उमापति महादेव की जय। Dear devotees, it gives me great pleasure to be here in the company of you and yours via Rudraaya. Have you ever seen that when someone says Om Namah Parvati Patiye or Har Har Namah Parvati Patiye, a devotee responds by saying Hara 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 Mahadev. they will raise both of their hands while chanting Hara Hara Mahadeva. The question was asked that what is the reason? Why? It indicates a complete surrender of our ego. The ego is the enemy in us which fights against the divine. It symbolizes that we have surrendered our ego and enmity. Even in a war, when the opposing army is conquered, the enemy raises their hands to surrender themselves. How does a drowning person seek help? They will raise both of their hands as if trying to reach for the heaven to seek this help. See, we are also drowning in the ocean of samsara, of birth and death. And so, Mahadeva, you are the ocean of all compassion. Hence, we beseech you to please save us. It is not possible to swim across the ocean. Hence, we depend only on your grace. We do not depend only in our own self-effort. We tried our best, but this constant changing world with all its temptations and distractions is very difficult for us to cross, to reach the shores of truth. Hence, by our effort and your kripa, your grace, then only that will take us across. How does a small child indicate to the parent to lift him or her up? By raising two hands, is it not? Hence the devotee also says that I am tired of walking, working in this sansara. Hence I need rest also, Lord, for I am your child. Please lift me and give me some rest. Hara means the remover. Hara Hara means remove my distresses urgently, ASAP, as soon as possible. It is unbearable. Please hurry, Lord. Mahadev means the supreme God or the God of all gods. There is no one more powerful than you and no one weaker than me. No one else beside you, Lord, will be able to save me. Please come quickly. By raising the both hands in an upward fashion, it is also called as a mudra, called as Lalita Marmika in dance, indicating complete surrender. This mudra is invented by Goddess Lalita, Goddess Parvati herself. So we gain her blessings also when we remember her. In Hindi, Hara Hara means each and every one. Hara Hara Mahadev means everyone is Mahadev alone. All including us are divine consciousness or Shiva alone. So in conclusion, next time when you raise your hands, Do it with understanding and surrender. Hara 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 Mahadeva. May the blessings of the Almighty be upon each and every one of you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shantihi, Harihi, Om.
Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya 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 Hari Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya 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 Hari Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya Om Shivaya Hari Om Shivaya.
My dear viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this morning's pravachan. And of course, as you know, we are still in the midst of COVID. COVID is actually not going anywhere. And we are going to be, living this kind of normal for at least a couple of years to come. So with that, we'll get straight into our health segment with our own Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon.
Sitaram and welcome to Health Corner. I am Dr. Sachin Ramkisoon, and today is the second episode in our 7-part series on mental health. Today we are discussing depression, the most common mental illness. Major depression is very prevalent in society, and it is estimated that 1 in 5 people will be diagnosed with depression in their lifetime. Depression is twice as common in females as compared to males, but the reason for this is unclear. It may be that females are more likely to seek help when experiencing symptoms, where males are less likely to seek help and be diagnosed. Depression is the #1 cause of disability worldwide and accounts for the most days of missed work as compared to any other health condition. Depression is a mood disorder that causes a persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest. It affects the way you feel, how you think, how you behave, and can lead to a variety of emotional and physical problems. Depression is different from brief episodes of sadness. The diagnosis of major depression is based on a prolonged period of sadness, emptiness, or hopelessness that has other key features. Some lose interest in activities they previously enjoyed doing, may have sleep disturbances, lack of energy, appetite changes, agitation, trouble thinking or concentrating, and thoughts of death or suicide. Depression can also cause unexplained physical problems too, such as chronic headaches and back or body pain. In fact, chronic depression can lead to a weaker immune system and higher rates of infection. People can develop depression at any time in their life, but there is a peak around the ages 30 to 40 and then again at age 50 to 60. The symptoms of depression in children and teens are slightly different and often more difficult to pick up. For example, in younger children, they may be irritable, excessively worry, complain of unexplained aches and pains, refuse to go to school, or refuse to eat. In teens, they may have more anger, poor school performance, poor attendance, avoid social interactions, and may start using drugs or alcohol to cope. Another important population that often presents differently is the elderly. Depression is not a normal part of growing older, and it should not be brushed aside as part of the aging process. Older people with depression may have more memory difficulties, personality changes, physical aches or pains, not wanting to go out and socialize, isolation, extreme fatigue, and thoughts of suicide, especially in elderly males. The exact cause of depression is unknown, but it is a combination of genetics, brain chemistry, environment, and hormones. Depression is more common in people who have a family history of depression. Head injuries, strokes, and major physical illnesses can also lead to depression. Changes in hormones can trigger depression, as seen after pregnancy and menopause. One of the most important points to note is that people with depression have physical changes in their brain, and the longer they are depressed, the more difficult it is to treat or recover from depression. There is no sure way to prevent depression. However, early recognition is the key, and that is why I have focused on recognizing the symptoms of depression. If you or a loved one have these symptoms, then reaching out to your physician or counselor is the first step. Treatment options include psychotherapy, antidepressant medications, cognitive behavioral therapy, and shock therapy for resistant cases. Peaceful meditation and physical exercise are well-established treatment adjuncts for treating depressions. Supplements such as St. John wort and omega-3 fatty acids are being studied as well. Depression is an illness much like any other physical disease, and so the person should not be blamed or taken lightly. It requires understanding from all of us to overcome the negative stigma that currently surrounds depression. I hope this discussion on depression has been useful to you, as I am sure it will speak to many of us in one way or another. Thank you for joining me on Health Corner, and I look forward to speaking with you again next week on Rudraaya.
My dear viewers, I hope you've enjoyed this morning's health segment. Please be reminded that Maharudraaya Mandir has resumed services, but only to those devotees who are fully vaccinated, and mask is mandatory. And of course, the booking system is also mandatory. So if you'd like to visit us, you can either call Pandit or myself and reserve a spot, or you can go onto our website, and we do have a booking system where you can book the day you'd like to come to Sunday morning service. And of course, that's important because we are also maintaining our capacity limits as well. So for now, we'll get straight into a corporate segment with Kamal Ji from Lotus Funeral Home.
Sitaram and Namaste. My name is Kamal Bardwaj, and I'm the owner of Lotus Funeral and Cremation Center and Kitchener Funeral Homes and Crematorium. I'm also a licensed funeral director. The funeral industry is constantly monitoring the government requirements for the handling of funeral services during this pandemic time. The government still requires all people entering the building to wear face masks and log in names and contact information for tracking purposes. The topic of vaccines has not impacted the funeral industry in terms of showing proof of double vaccinations. If you want to attend a funeral as a guest or a part of the family, there is no vaccination requirement. Hand sanitizers are stationed at all entrances and exits for the use of all people. Social distancing of 6 feet is also required for seating. At Lotus Funeral and Cremation Center, we are centrally located to serve families from the east and from the west. Our crematorium is located inside the building, so we do not have to travel to another location for cremation. For Hindu services, we can provide all the puja items, including fresh leaves, as well as a kirtan group if required. All these sound systems, including microphones and supplies, are to the family. All hall sizes can range from large gatherings to smaller ones, depending on the needs of the family. We are open 7 days a week and 24 hours a day, so your call is always answered anytime. For more information, please contact me from the telephone number on the screen. Thank you for watching, and see you next week on Rudraaya. Sitaram.
Life is beautiful, but death is inevitable. I realized this when my dad passed away. So much pain, and amidst all this, the worry of arranging a funeral. Thankfully, in all this, Kamal stood by me. From the viewing to the cremation, he arranged it all at one location. Once someone is gone, they don't come back. But Lotus Funeral Home knows how to give them a respectable farewell.
Lotus Funeral Home. Life must be celebrated.
सुन ले पुकार आई आज तेरे द्वार लेके आंसुओं की धार मेरे सावरे मैं तो एक भीख मांगू तो से फैला के हाथ रे सुन ले पुकार आई आज तेरे द्वार लेके आंसुओं की धार मेरे सावरे विनती करूं मैं तो से जग के किवैया डूब न जाए मेरी आशा की नैया विनती करूं मैं तो से जग के किवैया डूब न जाए मेरी आशा की नैया किसको दिखाऊं जाके दर्द मैं अपना कोई नहीं है मेरा कृष्ण कन्हैया कृष्ण कन्हैया सुन ले पुकार आई आज तेरे द्वार लेके आंसुओं की धार मेरे सावरे मैंने प्रभु आज तक कुछ नहीं मांगा मैंने प्रभु आज तक कुछ नहीं मांगा आज तो जान दे दे अपनी दया का बदले में चाहे मेरी जान भी ले ले बचा ले सहारा दाता इस दुखिया का इस दुखिया सुन ले पुकार आई आज तेरे द्वार लेके आंसुओं की धार मेरे सावरे मैं तो एक भीख मांगू तो से फैला के हाथ रे सुन ले पुकार आई आज तेरे द्वार लेके आंसुओं की धार मेरे सावरे सुन ले
My dear viewers, we've come to the end of another segment of Rudraaya, and as I mentioned during today's program, we are still in the midst of COVID. It is a new kind of normal that we have to live with at least for the next couple of years. And so it reminds me of that prayer that, our parents used to teach us when we were very little, and it's the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know the difference. So especially during this time, there are a lot of things that are beyond our control. So of course, you know what? We need the courage to do change the things we can, and of course to understand why certain things cannot be changed, and adjust ourselves to live when things cannot be changed, but to adjust to that, even that's a change, to adjust to it, because life goes on. We'd like to thank our kind sponsors at Maharudraaya Mandir, as well as our executive producer Gary Khan for making Rudraaya possible. And until we meet again next week, remember Diwali is on November 3rd. So over the next couple of weeks, I'll be sharing some highlights on what's happening at Maharudraaya Mandir. Until we meet again next week, stay safe, be blessed. Namaste.
हरि की कथा सुनाने वाले, गोविंद कथा सुनाने वाले, हरि कथा सुनाने वाले, गोविंद कथा सुनाने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम। हम भूल रहे थे वन में, बल को बैठे थे तन में। हम भूल रहे थे वन में, भल को बैठे थे तन में। प्रभु राह बनाने वाले, यह राज बनाने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। हरि की कथा सुनाने वाले, गोविंद कथा सुनाने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम। लेकर विषयों का प्याला जा रहे थे यम की गाला, लेकर विषयों का प्याला जा रहे थे यम के गाला। अमृत पान कराने वाले, प्रभु सुधा पिलाने वाले, अमृत पान कराने वाले, प्रभु सुधा पिलाने वाले, तुम लाखों प्रणाम, तुम लाखों प्रणाम। हरि की कथा सुनाने वाले, गोविंद कथा सुनाने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। तुम घट घट अंतर्यामी, हम पतित और अभिमानी। जगत अंतर्यामी, हम पतित और अभिमानी। प्रभु दर्श कराने वाले, प्रभु दर्श कराने वाले, हरि का दर्श कराने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको मेरा प्रणाम। ये कथा सुनाने वाले, गोविंद कथा सुनाने वाले, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम, तुमको लाखों प्रणाम।